The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Best Ball Mania is live with 15 million in prizes. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick, plus a first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Royal Retros. Royal Retros is jerseys, t-shirts, hats, jackets, and sweatshirts from all the old school teams that you love. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% off your order. That is promo code SGPN at royalretros.com. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really, bro. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service.
Just to be clear, by the way, I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to let you go first. I'm just going to grab some water. You know, you can take your time.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say that because
just saying.
I was
going
to
do
it anyway.
Yeah,
I was going to do it anyway. You didn't exist. Actually, I want to take you down and have a solo because I'm telling you right now. Oh boy. Hey, how'd that chalk go for y'all last night? Who's got the chalk? Man, looking like a basketball court full of chalk after the rain just turned into nice rainbow sunshine for me and our Cavs backers. I mean, I don't if you guys didn't know, breaking news. The Celtics and the Cavs series is now knotted up at 1 game apiece heading back to Cleveland. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. 8 is now the magic number. 8 straight series that the Boston Celtics have dropped a game at home. 8. Oh man, that's insane, bro. And you know what? That's what you get. That's what you get for sweeping KD in the playoffs. You remember that Thanos meme where he went and he got the Soul Stone and he went to the astral plane and he was talking to young Gamora and he would sit there and Gamora was like, "Did you get it? Yes. Did you sweep KD? Yes. What did it cost you? 8 straight series of bad luck." And
I was in the building for that, by the way. I was there for game 4. I was in the building for that sweep on KD. I was there.
I mean, it's so funny. You know what? I think the funniest part about this is that not of just my natural hate of the Celtics, but because one, the hate of the Celtics didn't come from me being a Knicks fan or like actual basketball. It just came from the fact that whenever I had a substantial bet on the Celtics, they always folded every single time. And so now I just hope that it's somebody out there that realized that, hey, I was listening to this guy hate on them, but I was still playing the Celtics, and the Celtics were still winning me some bets for sure. But then they just knew all the way that there was no chance that Cleveland had in this series, that they were going to sweep Cleveland in this series, that it was not even going to be an opportunity, that this was a clear cut. They are going to win by another 20 at home, and they're going to go on the road and play well. This is the moment that I had all those years ago when they lose a game that they have no business of losing. I don't care if it's the playoffs. We can have the super team dynamic and you can sit here and talk about, you know, we aren't a super team, homegrown talent, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 whatever. At the end of the day, this is a great team with very, very good pieces assembled. And they underperform to what they should be playing at consistently. Very consistently. 8 straight series consistently, if we talk about it. So we just got the win that we were guaranteed from the last 7 series. That win at home. That loss at home. So, I mean, it's great. I kind of wish it was game 1. It would have felt better if it was game 1. But I knew it was 50-50. One of these 2 games were a loss because they continue to do it. Oh, man. I love it when I love when this team proves me right, because I'll sit there and I'll take shit when they go on those runs. But it's moments like this in the playoffs that just it really irks you about this team. I think I'm done. I don't want to give them any more energy. I'm just getting ready for game 3. I've promised on the Mothership Pod that if the Knicks beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals and go to the finals, I will record a Celtics diss to Kindred's Not Like Us. This doesn't count for the Cavaliers. It's not as satisfying if the Cavaliers do it. But if the Cavaliers somehow win this series, that would be actually freaking hilarious. But it's not as satisfying, so I'm not going to do it. But if somehow the Knicks make it to the next round, because I think the Pacers are going to win, and if somehow the Knicks make it to the next round, and somehow the Celtics make it to the next round, the Knicks end up beating them, I'll record that diss for sure. But as of now, they just won 1 game, and we hit a nice bet. Let's see if we can do it again. Scott Studio Reichel, people. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing okay. Not the best day on the pod yesterday. Ended up winning some props, though. Faded Horford, faded Drew Holiday. That worked out well. The Horford fade's been incredible. Regardless of whether he starts or not, he's been atrocious on the stat sheet, and his numbers are too high. So that's worked out quite well. The OKC game didn't go well. Dallas looked solid. Mostly Luka and PJ Washington, because Kyrie didn't do anything, and they still won the game there. So props to PJ for, I think, hitting 7 assists. Yeah. That's true. I think he had 10 actually. Did he get to double? Did he get to 10 assists?
I think he might have got a couple extra.
I meant from the actual floor, but yeah, you're right. Kyrie did have assists there. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a great third quarter to give him a bit of a boost, which they kind of needed. But nice win for them. I'm probably going to take Giddey unders, by the way, in game 4 or game 3, because I don't think he can actually see the floor in the series. But the point is, you ended up seeing the Mavericks even up the series. Good for them. Saw Cleveland even up the series. I'm not really going to talk much about the game for Boston because it was kind of the same thing as the Miami game too, where we just saw Boston no-show a home game, and we saw the Heat, or the Cavs in this case, just go nuts from the floor and from 3. So I'm not even going to break down the game. I do want to briefly talk about the post-game press conference, though, for Tatum, because he broke down the whole super team narrative, and I know somebody asked him the question, but he also started half blaming the fans for being spoiled, for expecting them to win every game. Bro, you won 64 games in the regular season. You were 37-4 at home. Really? You're going to give the fans crap for expecting you to win as 13.5, 14-point favorites at home, and not only do you lose, but you lose by 24 points to a team missing arguably its second or third best player? Are you serious? Really? You're going to blame the fans for that? I just think Tatum, I can't really explain it, and I think that it's extremely embarrassing that his favorite player was Kobe growing up, because the more you watch Tatum play and the more you actually listen to his quotes, the less he just resembles Kobe's mindset. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Tatum's going to this whole, well, we're not a super team. It's crazy to expect us to win every game. What kind of mentality is that? Aren't you supposed to go out there and try to dominate every team you play, especially Cavs teams that we saw get run out of the building in Orlando twice by 20-plus points? I thought that whole press conference was embarrassing. That's what I'm going to focus on there. The game spoke for itself. I don't have to add anything more than that. But Tatum just having that whole press conference passive-aggressive rant about fans being spoiled. Bro, shut up and play better. What kind of argument is that? You won 64 games. We only had 2 All-Stars. We didn't have an MVP. We didn't win Coach of the Year. Bro, according to every single advanced analytics, you should be cruising to the NBA Finals. And you're losing to the Heat and you're losing to the Cavs at home. You're 14-14 in your last 28 home playoff games. 14-14. You went 37-4 at home in the regular season this past year, and you can't win home games. It's been the case for years. It's just it's one of the dumbest things I've heard, saying, well, it's not realistic to win every game, so what's the big deal? You know, people think that we're better than we are. We're not a perfect team, but we'll make it work. What kind of mentality is that to be the best player on a team? Am I wrong? Like, isn't that an insane collection of quotes if you're the star player on a team that's been expected to win at least one title by now, to say, no, it's cool, whatever, it happens. People thought we were better than we actually are. Like, what kind of comment is that? That's a crazy press conference quote. And I have to roast him for it because that's nuts.
Whew, turn this shit up, Scott. Why
Am I
don't
wrong?
you? I mean, no, you're not. You was preaching. You were preaching. And I mean, it's what happens when you put that green jersey, man, on. Like that's what happens when you put that green jersey on. Like it just it brings out the worst in people. That's why Kyrie was in the building saging the area. That's why Kyrie was saging that place down, man. It really, really brings out the worst of you when you put that jersey on. Kyrie got the fuck up out of there. All right. Are you a hardcore baseball fan, or are you just a degenerate like me, sitting around realizing it's day baseball and have no idea what to bet? Go check out the MLB Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and check out all those guys over there from across the pond, even on this side of the water, talk about baseball. So check out the MLB Gambling Podcast. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Yes, Drewski, I agree. I can 100% argue that he is. Sometimes he's not the best player in that Celtics uniform. Like it's very, I think it's pretty consistent. Not consistent as in like overall, but consistent as in like there's enough times where he's not the best player, and they're just very grateful that they have the team that they have where somebody else can step up. But I don't know, man. I think the Tatum and Brunson discord over the past couple weeks has elevated. And I don't know. Maybe it takes Brunson to actually beat the Celtics in the series to prove or give people validation that Brunson is better than Tatum. But I don't know. I just feel like Brunson works for the Knicks, and maybe he wouldn't work for Boston. I feel like Tatum kind of works for Boston, and when he doesn't work for them, they have Brown who works for them in the times he doesn't. Like, I don't know. I just feel like those two guys kind of work for their teams, but I haven't decided if one guy is significantly above the other or not.
It's also tough because they play different positions. So automatically, Tatum's going to be a better defensive player, and he's going to be a better rebounder because they're different sizes. So it's tough to compare. But I think Brunson's better if I had to go based on impact and based on what they've done in the postseason. But in reality, Tatum is the best player, according to media perception, on the best team by a mile. So he's going to be first team All-NBA. And I think most people, I tweeted it out. The more I watch Tatum play, the less I like him as a player. You just notice more flaws, and it's even about the way that he's wired. It feels like he checks out of half these games if things don't go their way early. And I think you'd agree with it. We're going to talk about Minnesota in a second. Last point. A lot of teams, I think I'd say, take the identity and the overall personality of their best player. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
We've seen that with Minnesota. We saw what Ant's done to that overall team. Cat's playing tougher. There's a certain swagger.
Jimmy does it
Minnesota.
Wherever he goes.
Jimmy's done it. Even Joker. His team's been more comfortable in late game situations. You get the point I'm trying to make. Tatum, we can argue, whether you like him or not, is pretty soft. And I feel like the post-game quote suggests that as well. And Boston has been a soft team that has kind of hurtled in big moments for years. And I feel like Tatum being the leader of the team, or I know people will claim Horford is, but whatever, as the main guy on the team, I do think that trickles down psychologically from Tatum to the rest of his teammates. That's the last point I'll make.
All right. Before we get into the actual game action, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and they're here to make the NBA playoffs. I don't even know. They got me talking crazy. The NBA playoffs over here. I'm super excited because you can play fantasy pick'em, and you don't have to just play playoffs. You can do WNBA. That's coming back next week. You can do MLB. You can do golf. You can do all of this stuff, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Actually, I want to see somebody who cashed 100x. I think who was it? Was it Cam Kerr? I think it was Cam Kerr.
Yeah, he did.
That got 90x. The 90xer. Yeah. But so shout out to Cam Kerr who got a 90xer. Somebody show me somebody who's beaten Cam Kerr's 90x.
That was football, right? That was a football one.
It was a football one. So I would love to see somebody beat that 90x. I might have to take my stab at it. Honestly, I feel like why haven't I done this before? I need to take a stab at a 90xer. So let's see what we can do. Underdog Fantasy is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. And they just launched their champions format in Florida, their player versus player format. So use NBA SGPN, sign up and claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. All right, here we go. 2 games on the slate for tonight. First game up on the docket is my New York Knicks on the road going to play the Indiana Pacers. Pacers laying 7.5. 7.5 in this game. Line opened up at 4.5. They have gone up as high as 7.5. There's some sevens out there though, so please look around, shop around. There's 7.5 is where it's at right now. 222.5 is the total here. And then let me get my injury report up. There we go. Injury report for the New York Knicks, and we know Jalen Brunson's questionable with that foot injury. I think we all expect him to play, but we are looking to see how effective he's going to be. OG is out with a strained hamstring.
I think we agree, though, he's going to be out for the series. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, he is. This is JR knows his feeling. And I think JR might have given a warning shot across the way when this trade happened that, hey, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt.
The upside when healthy, though, is undeniable. He's a hell of a
Oh, man. They're like I don't even know what their record is with OG in the lineup now. Like, it's still insane, but it's just like, here we go. Here we go again. And it's like, I already deal with this with Mitch. Now I have to deal with it with OG too. It's always a downside. There's always a downside. And we knew this, but it's always a downside. And it just came at possibly the worst time because I'm getting super excited, about the playoffs in the future for the New York Knicks.
If it makes you feel better, I don't think you beat Philly with Barrett and with Quickly on the roster. So if that makes you feel any better.
No, they don't. And so it's cool, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad. And hopefully if the Knicks do somehow, some way, find a way to beat the Pacers, because I'm on the Pacers, then he'd be ready maybe to make a return in the playoffs at some point. So Bojan, Julius, they're both out for the season. For the Pacers, clean injury report. I mean, all right. Let's say a series doesn't start until a team wins the game on the road. And
Cleveland officially started the playoffs, by the way, yesterday. So.
Cleveland just started their playoff run. Literally just started the playoff run. Great way to start your playoff run, by the way. Amazing way to start your playoff run. I'm going to defer to you, Scott, because everybody knows where I'm going. What are you doing here?
So a part of me wants to take the Knicks because I think 7.5 is absurd with a team that doesn't guard anybody. Indiana defensively is a mess. Now, the Knicks are an infirmary right now, and I'm not sure how injured Brunson is. He looked really good in the second half. He also might have been really high. I'm not sure how many drugs they gave him at halftime. So you might want to keep that in mind, but I don't know if the foot's going to be bothering him. We've heard this before. I know Isaiah Thomas against the Lakers once had like 30 points in a quarter, and then he couldn't play the next game. Adrenaline's a hell of a drug. Sometimes you're just feeling it, you're going to play it out, and then you end the game and you can't move your foot. So I am kind of wondering how Brunson's going to feel. And I know Obi being out's a big deal just for the defensive overall importance and the fact that he had 28 points in 3 quarters in the last game. But the contrarian plays to take Indiana, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be on the Knicks in the spot despite the injuries, because 7.5 for a team that can't rebound and can't guard anybody is probably not ideal. So contrarian the move is probably to take Indiana. Indiana first half's also going to be the common play, down 2-0 going back home. We know the angle. The odds makers have adjusted for that for years. Do I think the Knicks actually have enough bodies to pull this off? I think I am going to lean to the Knicks. I think 7.5 is too many. If Indiana wins the game, would I be shocked? No. You could argue Indiana should be tied 1-1 or even up 2-0 right now if Rick Carlisle had any idea how to use his actual rotations. But the point, or how to adjust his rotations on the fly. I think I'm going to lean to the Knicks. I just think that rebounding wise, they'll dominate. And I actually think even if Achua starts over OG, the rebounding is still going to be crazy. Like, I think the Knicks are going to dominate the boards in this game. So with that being the case, they'll probably dominate the free throws as well. I'm not sure if you believe that the Rick Carlisle sending of 70-plus calls or whatever the hell that was actually going to have an impact or not. Maybe
78.
you'll buy into that or not. I don't know. Do you think that matters?
Probably not, but I just feel like if you go and pull clips of 78 calls and send it to people, one, I'm not watching all of that. I'm not watching
No.
all of that. 78 clips of different calls that you feel like we got
that's the
wrong.
immediate response of damn, I'm sorry or congratulations. I'm not reading all that. That's the same thing.
So
But
absolutely not. So I don't think it did anything. Honestly, truly, I would be interested if anybody watched all of it, because it sounds like that's a pretty substantially long video that I'm just not interested in, because 78 calls, it's no way they got 78 calls wrong. Like 78 in 2 games, 78 calls. All right, bro. All
to
right.
be fair, there are a couple of calls that have gone in big moments against the Pacers. We're not going to deny that. Game
Yes.
one's a good
Yes.
example of that.
But 78,
78's an exaggeration. I'm not sure if it matters. I don't think anyone feels any sympathy for Indiana either because of how the rotations played out in the last couple of minutes of those 2 games. But I think I am leaning to the Knicks. I don't mind team total over. I don't mind the over in this game. I feel like even though the Knicks offense might be, you can argue, a little bit concerning based on how many guys are potentially out, I think guys can step up in this spot. And Indiana can't guard Brunson at all. You've just seen straight line drives by Hart to the rim. Nobody's even contesting half these shots. It's just an abysmal defensive game plan by Indiana. And they actually did try a bunch of different looks on Brunson, and nothing worked in the second half of game 2. So I'm going to lean Knicks team total over. I think you're going to see points here. I like the over in this game, though, because Indiana has been successful pushing pace, and the Knicks have actually been successful pushing pace. So I don't know why this script would change. The argument maybe with Achua there, the Knicks might play slower, but Indiana's going to want to play fast. They've scored enough points to win these games, and they can't guard anybody. So why would I not want the over in this game? Do you like the over or the under? Because I don't know why Indiana would slow the pace down. They've had success. They've been in prime spots to win these games. They've just blown it. So why would they change their identity? Aren't they just going to want to play fast again?
Yeah.
And the Pacers are at home, and you like Pacers overs at home anyway. But
yeah. No. I like the total. Let's rewind and let's get back to the overall concept, because I want to hit some of the things in the chat. Strutters is asking, how is OG always hurt? Hey man, don't add. No, I don't know, man.
As a Nets fan, I can reach out to Ben Simmons. Some guys just get hurt all the time. It just happens that way.
It just happens, bro. At this point, I'm feel the same way about Mitch. Honestly, I feel the same way about Mitch. And there was a point in time where after OG came to the team and OG got hurt, that this Knicks team just didn't look that good. They didn't look good defensively. They were giving up a whole bunch of points, and it was really, really bad. And that's what's concerning. That's what's concerning for this game, and why I'm on the over 222.5. And I do think Knicks team total over is a good play. I think that Pacers team total over is a good play too, because I do question the Knicks defense when OG and Mitchell Robinson are not playing. Now, Isaiah Hartenstein has gotten, I think that he's improved over the course of the season as a defender. I would not have given him that credit in the beginning of the season, but as the season gone on, he's been really, really good. So it may be better, because this is a different Hartenstein that's playing than that was playing then. I truly understand and agree with that. But I have to make the case for the Pacers here, because I have an agenda. And ultimately, they lost 2 of their better defenders. They lost some front court depth, where now it's Hartenstein and Achua, and that's it. That's it. Now we probably do get Adam. Adam was saying, does Sims, or do we see Sims and Shake tonight? You probably see Jericho Sims, especially if Hartenstein gets into foul trouble. You're probably going to see Jericho Sims. Actually, you might not even see him in foul trouble. It might be a point in time where they just want to have Precious and Hartenstein on the bench for a couple of minutes, and Sims has to come into the game. I think Sims probably sees about 10 minutes of action tonight. So that all doesn't bode well for me. I think that this move also hurts the Knicks offensively. We saw what OG was doing before he got hurt. The man had 28 points, and it was like 4 for 8 from 3.
And he had a layup for 30. So he was right there for 30 points in 3 quarters.
Like what? And so we missed that. And he's a 40% shooter this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people realize that. He shot 40% from 3 this year. Well,
for
30,
comparison, by the way, Achua shoots like 26, 28%. He's a terrible
yes.
3-point shooter. For comparison.
Yes. So you're losing that aspect. You're losing another person that can sit there in the corner and knock down shots when Brunson and all these guys with the horrible defense dribble on the inside and penetrate. We were hitting threes. And so it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm rolling with the Pacers, -7 here. And just saying that they get up at home, and the Knicks kind of just got to play around with this rotation and figure this thing out, because Tom is going to stick to doing what he's doing, and we're going to see Achua probably play 40 minutes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see Hartenstein play
if you
north
want
of
for
30 minutes tonight.
Double opportunities, tonight would probably be your opportunity.
It was shoot. If the rebounds was there some more, he would have had it last game.
He had 5. I mean, he ended up getting over his base prop, which we did like.
Yeah,
but
it was just I was looking for it last game. I was.
Yeah.
You started talking shit about him. I was like, all right. And then he came in, got a couple quick buckets. I was like, oh, we might actually have a chance here. He finished with 8 and 5. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, absolutely. Now he's getting an extra 10 minutes. Like he had 28 minutes last game. He's getting an extra 10 minutes, at the very least, an extra 10 minutes. So
I do want to ask you about props, though, with the Knicks, because we're talking about the potential depth options. There's really only one bench player that Thibodeau actually likes, and it's McBride. With Brunson being injured and with Anunoby being out and trying to manufacture minutes for anybody based on foul trouble, do you like McBride props now? Is he in line to play more based on just how few bodies they have left that Thibodeau actually trusts?
I think so. I think that he can get a few extra minutes. Probably about 25. I say about 25, maybe hitting the 30 threshold. And it's just really Alec Burks, because Alec Burks is probably going to see a little bit, maybe 7 to 8, and he's going to come in. And it's like, is Tibbs going to start playing Burks? And honestly, truly, just don't give those minutes to Burks. Honestly, we can run this rotation with McBride and a couple of minutes of Sims, but you don't have to give Burks minutes, Tom. Like, you really don't. Please don't. I'm begging you, don't. Well, I'm begging you too, because I want the Pacers. So you should get Burks minutes, because I think he's going to tank this team.
Or you want him to play because the Knicks might be up 20. So there's a couple ways that Burks plays. Burks played 1 minute in game 2, so he's a lot.
That 1 minute showed me that he is not. That 1 minute showed me that he is not opposed to playing him.
Yeah. Oh, he was ready to roll.
He's not opposed to playing him, and that's what terrifies me for the future. I swear it does. All right. Oh man, Alec Burks pisses me off sometimes, man. Okay. Player props. Well, before we get to player props, want to talk to everybody about Royal Retros, looking to prove that you know ball and you want to showcase your old school fandom. I mean, this is Kobe Dance wet dream here, just being able to go get old school jerseys and all of that, hats, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all this vintage gear, and it's fully customizable. So when you go online, you can pick the jersey that you like, and you can get anything on it. You can make it so that it's a current player now. You can make it so that it's a former player, or you can go up there and, put the villain Rel on the back, or whatever you want to put on the back. Like, it can be anything. So that's what's really, really cool about Royal Retros. Use promo code SGPN for 10% off your order today. That's code SGPN at royalretros.com for 10% off today. Okay. Player props. Chat already starting to get going on the player props. Drewski said he liked McBride over on points. Okay, I like that. That sounds cool. Scott, what do you have here?
I mean, do we have to take Josh Hart everything at this point? I mean, I've been backing him for over a year at this point, but Thibodeau, is going to play him 48 minutes. I mean, I don't know how he doesn't play that long unless the Knicks get run out of the building and they just pull everyone, because Hart has gotten so much run, and Brunson's also injured. So you're looking at Hart playing a bunch of minutes. I don't know how he's not going to end up with an insane stat line just based on the usage. I mean, he's been solid offensively in the series because he constantly attacks the basket, and Indiana fouls a ton, and they're also not great at rim protection. You're looking at Hart's rebounds. He's been incredible. And now Anunoby's out, and he's been a good rebounder too. You could argue that Chua being there actually might hurt Hart's rebounding chances, but I still think he gets over 12.5. I mean, Josh Hart points, rebounds, and assists are at 36.5, which I know sounds massive, but I can't really disagree with that, just based on what I've seen so far in the series. If you want to ignore points because maybe the three-point shot's not falling for Hart, why would I not take over 18.5 rebounds and assists at minus 120? He's gone over in 4 of the last 5. He's going to play 48 minutes in this game unless they get killed. Hart has to do so much for this team. And now with Brunson being hurt, he might have to do even more. But so far in the series, he's had 22 and 21. So give me the over 18.5 for rebounds and assists for Josh Hart. Maybe a triple-double. Keep an eye out for the triple-double watch tonight.
Oh, okay. All right, Scott. Boom. I have here, I see a big player. He had a really, really big game, near triple-double type game for Isaiah Hartenstein last game. His PRA finished at 34. His line tonight, he did. It was amazing. Masterful game. His line's at 27.5 right now, Scott.
Okay.
Do you mind if I read off the past 10 games or so that he's played?
I like Hartenstein, so no, you do what you want.
All right. I'm a 34 last game. PRA 23, 25, 17, 14, 19, 26, 16, 25. I mean, he did, like, that's my guy. That's my guy. I don't want to, I'm not trying to take nothing from him. That's my guy. But he hadn't had a double-double in like 9 games before that.
Yeah.
This is profile that we said that this had an opportunity to be a big series for him. He didn't show it in game 1 all the way. Game 2, he had a good one, but he still struggled for a while. 27.5 feels a little bit rich on the PRA for my guy, man, especially on the road. And now Achua is in the starting lineup, and that's going to take away rebound chances, you said, for Josh Hart, for Hartenstein. Yeah. And now the offense is going to be different because now it's not going to, like, now you have Achua who's not an offensive threat. And so are they going to look to Isaiah Hartenstein? I don't think so. I think that now it's going to be more on McBride. It's going to be more on the guards and the small guys. Like, they're not looking at the bigs to score anymore. Like,
it's a good sell high spot. It's a good sell.
It just feels like a really, really good sell high spot. I'm trying to figure out why the line is this number, and that's why why is it 27.5 and he hasn't been
I think it's because he played 39 minutes last game. I think that's the main reason. Because with Robinson
but I told
being
you
out, he's gotten a bump.
He's only gotten to that like 40 once, and so 39 was a lot for him. So is he?
No, I understand. I'm just once
and
again
then foul
saying that might be
trouble.
why.
He's in foul trouble, so foul trouble messes him up. Like, I don't know, man. That's my guy, but 27.5 is a little rich. Give me Isaiah Hartenstein under 27.5 points, rebound, assists.
Yeah, I'll go to Indiana for this next one. By the way, I wanted to at least mention Brunson because I kind of have to. An injured Brunson, over under 35.5 points. He was at 37.5 in game 2, and he probably would have gotten there because he missed an entire quarter and still at 29. So I'm not going to touch the Brunson points, but Indiana can't guard him. So just keep that in mind that he might have a monster game. So keep that as a potential. It also might be why Hartenstein had so many assists, because I don't have it by quarter breakdown, but when Brunson went out, they kind of had to invent some offense. So maybe Hartenstein got a couple of assists there. I don't really remember, to be honest, what happened in that second quarter assist-wise when Brunson went out, but that might have affected the offensive game plan. I got to mention TJ McConnell. I just have to. I know you can't stand the guy, and most Knicks fans can't because he's actually been really good. I've always been a Hartenstein. Hartenstein I've liked, but I've always been an original TJ McConnell fan, even out of Arizona. I just think he's a solid backup point guard, and he's been very good in the series. The Knicks have had a hard time matching up with him based on just overall shiftiness is the word I'll use. His mid-range jumper's been falling. He's even had a couple of threes. Indiana plays fast. Him and Halliburton have actually looked solid together, but he had a double-double in basically 3 quarters.
We said we like his
game
assists.
2. I do. It's at 5.5. That
Yeah, I
line
still
feels
like it.
very low.
I still like it.
I do too. His points, rebounds, and assists are at 19.5. That might be appealing. I'm not sure he's going to get a double-double, but it is 11 to 1. 11 to 1 for a double-double, such a nice price. I mean, Josh Hart, for comparison, by the way, his triple-double is 9 to 1. I'd rather bet on TJ McConnell double-double at 11 to 1 than Josh Hart triple-double at 9 to 1 if I had to pick between the two of them. I think McConnell's been a matchup problem for this team, and I'm hoping Carlisle got the hate mail from Twitter and maybe from Pacers fans. Play this guy more, maybe Nembhard a bit less, but I can see a bump to McConnell's minutes here. So I don't mind McConnell double-double potentially at 11 to 1 as a long shot flyer in this match.
Yeah, no, I like it. I definitely like his assists over 5.5. And it's really because of the fact that he doesn't feel comfortable in his jump shot. He doesn't feel comfortable scoring the basketball, and you see so many times that he'll have an open look and he'll drive and penetrate, and then the defense will come up over and he'll get a nice assist for a basket. And so I think TJ McConnell absolutely, like TJ McConnell 10 plus assists. If you don't even want to take the points, 7 to 1, it's not bad at all. I think that TJ McConnell is going to have a pretty nice day on the assist. I'm definitely going to be on that play as well. What else here do I want to point out for the game?
You want Obi again? Do we think he gets a bump in minutes because he's been good, or no?
Yeah, Obi has been good. I mean, he's been playing well.
I guess what I'm asking, though, is do you actually trust Carlisle to recognize which players have been thriving in the series and to adjust the minutes accordingly? Because based on what we've seen, McConnell and Toppin should, keyword should, get more run. That's kind of my argument. So
yeah, but I don't trust coaches to do what
I don't
everybody else wants them to do. I don't trust them. Like, when do they ever actually do that? Like, never. It never actually works
I just
out
thought
like
it was worth bringing up because that's kind of an important talking point.
And so that's why I was considering Nembhard threes.
Okay.
And I see JR in the chat talking about McConnell. And McConnell's like, cool. He's just, Nembhard is a better 3-point shooter. And he keeps getting the attempts because he's constantly on the floor. And they want him to shoot it. They constantly tell him to shoot that shot whenever he's open. So it's horrible for them to be playing and Nembhard this many minutes because he literally cannot stop Jalen Brunson at all. And so there's no reason he should be on the court that much to cash that prop. So that's why I don't think I'm going to get there. But it is interesting at 1.5 threes for Nembhard at plus 152 because I truly believe that the Pacers aren't going to make that adjustment and they're just going to continue to try to play how they've been playing because they feel like they've been close.
I would also mention some Achua props. We don't have any. So I'm going to have to wait that out. But Achua is a guy that I probably would want to back today. I'm not a fan of his overall offensive game. Still a good rebounder. He might block a shot or two. But I do think it's a good spot for him. Might segue to Miles Turner, by the way. I did give out his under rebounds last game at 7.5. He had 7 rebounds with 23 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, and he finished with 7. Starting center, 0 rebounds in the final 23 minutes of the game. So I might go back to Miles Turner under for rebounds, especially with Achua being there. And that actually might cause Turner to have even less success on the boards. It's just a lack of effort for me with Turner. Guy's basically 7 feet tall. He doesn't rebound the ball. It's really frustrating to actually watch if you have props on him ever for overs. For unders, it's funny. But the point is his rebounds in this matchup for game 3 are at 7.5 again. It's minus 104. Sure. I'll keep taking it until he goes over, but I watched him get 0 rebounds in 23 straight minutes. I think I have to run that back. So I'm assuming you like Halliburton assists in this game, by the way, because you think the Pacers might score a bunch of points.
Yeah, I think Halliburton assists is still live. This is a good game for Halliburton assists for sure. Dante's threes are now at minus 160. I implore you. If you want to, where are my clients? I mean, let me put my Pick Dundee hat on real quick. Where are my clients? Because I just want you guys to know, for the first 2 games, we got this 3-point prop for Dante at plus money. and now it's minus 160. How much you want to bet it goes under 3.5 today? How much you want to bet?
Is that based on a lack of attempts, or do you think he goes 2 for 12?
I mean, I don't care how. I don't. It's 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
Yeah,
it's
true.
1,000 ways to skin a cat. I don't care how you do it. Watch it go under 3. It feel like now everybody on the wave. They done forced this up to minus 160. He going for somehow, some way. He might finish with 3. Watch it be like 3 for 10. Like, man, I'm not taking that.
3 for 10, I could see.
I'm not taking that prop this time, minus 160. We was getting that at plus money for the first 2 days. We could chill and we can let that. I kind of want to go and take the under. I kind of want to go take the under for plus 124. I feel like this is it. I feel like he's going to finish at 3. There's going to be some people that are pissed. But me, I be knowing. Dante DiVincenzo under 3.5 threes tonight.
By the way, if you do want one sneaky play on an Indiana bench player, Isaiah Jackson blocks is actually worth consideration. What if I told you that he's had at least 1 block in 7 straight games against the Knicks, and it's at minus 108?
Wow. I would tell you one. You sounded like a 30 for 30 intro right there, but
that's what I was going for. Thank you.
It's insane. That's insane. 7 straight games against the Knicks, 1 block. Why don't I have a trend like that? I didn't see that. Dang, good job, Scott.
Thank you. I have my moments. 1.5 blocks, by the way, is plus 300. 2.5 is 6 to 1. He did have 3 in game 1. I'm not saying he's going to get there, but half a block for a guy. He's only going to play probably 15 minutes. But the point is, he is a good rim protector. Achua might attack the rim. You might see Hart attack the rim. A lot of guys on the Knicks do love to attack the basket. So if you want to go based on head-to-head trends, 7 straight at minus 108 is a good deal. But
all right. That's enough of this. Anything else you got?
No. I think we can move on to the next game. I forgot the series was taking place, by the way. It's been a while since we've seen these two teams play.
The Denver Nuggets on the road going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves lead the series 2-0. Minus 3.5. They're laying 3.5 here.
I saw 4.5, but I think it's mostly in the middle.
I think did it go back down? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back. Yeah, so no, it's 4. So this 4 is out there. It's been as high as 4.5. It's been as low as 3.5.
I'll put it at 4 for the show.
4. Yep. Minnesota laying 4. 204.5 is the total here. Injury report for these two teams, and Jamal Murray is questionable. KCP is questionable. Reggie Jackson is questionable. And for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert is not on the injury report. Monte Morris not on the injury report. All right. So this is not often charted waters that you have a team that is down 2 games going on the road. And then let alone being the defending champions at that. This is a tough spot. This is a very, very tough spot. And some teams perform under all this pressure. Other teams fold and just kind of pack it in. Scott, you're laying 4 with Minnesota, or you leaning closer to Denver?
Yeah, there's 2 ways this game goes. I said this on the Mothership show. I think either Minnesota kills them again because Denver is still extremely injured, and you could argue offensively they are not deep at all. And Minnesota defensively has been just insane. Game 2 is one of the best defensive halves I've ever seen in a basketball game, and I feel like most people feel the same way. That was prime Pistons quality defense. That was something else, and Gobert wasn't even playing. So I think for this matchup, I mentioned it might be a Polish middle, but I think either Denver wins the game or Minnesota wins by 15. I really don't see a middle ground. Denver, you're hoping with just championship metal, they're able to at least put together a good showing to give themselves a shot to get back into the series. That's what you're hoping for. The problem is, I don't know if they have the horses, pun intended, to get the job done for this matchup, because the supporting cast has just not been very good. Now, the argument is Murray's been terrible, besides throwing heat packs on floors, but he's been really bad in the series. Joker's been bad for his own standards. We all know that. Porter Jr.'s been a mess. The shot selection's been terrible, but it always is. Gordon had 1 good quarter, which was game 2. He had a very good first quarter. nobody on Denver's really done anything offensively for this team. And I don't know who they can rely on to actually generate points. So I think Minnesota, I'm leaning more to rout this team. I'm hoping I'm wrong because, as you know, I'm a big Joker guy. But it just seems like Minnesota took last year's five-game loss in the playoffs and built their entire, I'd say, identity and game plan around a rematch with this team. And they've kind of just come up with a very solid game plan and a very solid roster structure to beat this team. It's just what it feels like to me. It feels like Minnesota has counters to everything Denver wants to run. And Murray's health is definitely a factor. Because if Murray was healthy, maybe I think Denver would be able to even up the series, maybe win the series. If Murray's going to be this injured and this ineffective, they got no chance. I don't care how good Joker is. They got no chance of winning the series if Murray's going to be this bad moving forward. I think I'm going to lean Minnesota just because I think the crowd's going to be crazy. But I think I am going to go Minnesota. You can play it if you want. It's not really a Polish middle because I said Minnesota's either going to win by 15 or Denver wins by like 2. So I said it's going to go one of two ways. I'm leaning more to Minnesota winning by margin. So I'll lean to Minnesota. I believe my exact plays. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
I believe my exact plays. It's fine. I believe my exact plays for the Mothership Show were Denver 1-10 and Minnesota like minus 10.5 or 11.
That's why I played
both of them were like plus 250, plus 275. I'm still not against that. I know you can easily get screwed on both if you end up landing in the middle. Like, I'm aware of that, but it really feels like either Minnesota routs them at home or Denver comes out as a defending champion and puts together a championship-level performance. So I see it going one of two ways. I'll lean more to Minnesota. Hopefully, for Denver's sake, the extra time off between game 2 and game 3 gives Murray and company more time to look sharper, but I'm skeptical because they really don't have any scoring depth, and Murray's performances this series have given them no chance to win. So I'll lean to Minnesota if I had to pick.
So I will combat both of your points, and I will take the Polish middle. I will, because this is how I see the game going. Denver, we talked about it, and it's been roasted about Denver's slow starts throughout these playoffs. I think we can count on one hand the amount of times they've won a first quarter or first half in these playoffs.
One finger. Yeah, it's one finger.
One finger. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think that Denver, back against the wall, is going to look like a wounded animal, and they are going to come out firing. They're going to look really good, and people are going to question why they couldn't do this the 2 games prior. I think they're going to look pretty good when they start this game. And I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot for this Minnesota Timberwolves team. You're up 2-0, you're going back home. Even if you lose this game, you still have home court.
Yeah.
Like, this is a nothing game. If you lose this game, you still have home court.
Do you think Minnesota cares about being undefeated in the playoffs? Do you think there's a sense of pride there, or do you think they don't care?
I mean, I think everybody is trying to win every single game they play. I think if you ask any team, every single team would say we would love to go 16-0 in the playoffs and win it all. Nobody wants to lose ever.
Yeah, of course.
And so,
yeah.
so I think so. Yeah, unless you're Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is cool losing 1 game, maybe 2 games, but still winning overall.
But you learned a life lesson along the way, so it's fine. So yeah.
So
anyway,
I really just think it's funny that we just made a Jason Tatum joke too. At the same time. All right, man, whatever, bro. Whatever. People be in here annoying. All right. So what was I saying here? Oh, so if we go back to it and we talk about this team last year, how that series went, how horrible it was. That's the motivation enough. If we talk about this new Anthony Edwards, and it's not even a new Anthony Edwards, but this Anthony Edwards that is now able to display on his teammates. We've seen Anthony Edwards act like this, but it was really more of referring to his own game a lot of the time. Now this has extended to his teammates to where we have a cat with confidence. A cat with confidence is a dangerous player in the NBA.
I didn't
It
know this
really, really
existed
is.
in him. I
What?
didn't know he had it.
This is a different cat that is just like, oh man, but we knew he existed because he would have a game or 2 or 5 in a row or something like that where he had confidence, but it just wouldn't be over an entire
I saw him get
season.
benched with a 60 piece, so I didn't know he had this in him for the record. But
So it's just like now you have all of that. So this is what's going to happen. Denver's going to go out early. They're going to buck the early first quarter trend. They probably got it circled on their little bulletin board. We have to have a good first quarter, have to have a good first half. We have to get out early on the road. They're going to do that. And then that second half is going to come. And then realization is going to set in that they're in the playoffs and this Minnesota team fucking hates their guts and they want to win. That's what's going to happen. The Minnesota's going to come out in that second half. They're going to play an exceptional level of defense, and Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are going to take this game over, and they're going to pull them to a win. I think 1-10, 1-10 for Minnesota. I would sit here and say, and you know what? I'm gonna call my shot. Give me Denver plus the 4, but Minnesota on the money line.
wow. Okay.
Boom.
I was gonna say we can overlap there if Minnesota wins 5-10. But yeah, that's fine.
Let's just call it a shot. Yes, I like the 1-10 because I'm saving my ass, but fuck it.
For the
Denver
record,
covers
though,
the 4.
I am rooting for Denver to win this game in general. I know I just gave up Minnesota. I am rooting for Denver to win because I actually want the series to be competitive. This series is so fun on paper, and it's been pretty, I don't want to say underwhelming because Minnesota's been great. I'm not going to take away what Minnesota's done. If this series turns out to be a sweep, what an absolute buzzkill, to be honest. Because this series looked incredible going in, and now it might suck, and I kind of want a good series. So maybe that's a hot take, maybe it's not, but I'm hoping to get more games.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping.
I would love it. I would love to get more games, but if we don't, I'm perfectly fine because I'm pulling for SGA in a Western Conference Finals.
We can still get that. I'm just saying, of course, as a bettor, I'm hoping my bets win, but if just as a fan, this series going 6 or 7 would just be tremendous content, which is what I was rooting for.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, so I'm in the middle of you. I think you have good points on both sides, and I guess we just covered our bases so that no matter how this game ends, somebody was right. But I like the middle. I think.
By the way, I think I was wrong before. I think Denver has won the first quarter twice because I think they ended up winning game 1 because they went on like some insane like 18-4 run in the last 5 minutes to win game 1, and they won game 5 in the first quarter against the Lakers. I think that's it. For the first halves, I think they led against Minnesota as well. I don't remember if they covered the first half. But the point is, they have been trailing more often than not.
All right. Live bet Minnesota. That's how I'm waiting for Minnesota to go down. So it could be
that's
double
a good
digits
question
in the
by
first
Ryan.
half.
I got to see who the refs are. It's a good question.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, let's play a game.
Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to check that.
Let's play a game of ref or no ref. Scott, who are the referees for this game tonight?
I'm going to guess Tony Brothers because I feel like Scott Foster worked yesterday. I think he was in the Mavericks game, so I'm going to lean to Tony Brothers if I had to guess.
Tony Brothers. Okay, well, let's see because I don't know either. Let's see. Well, yes, sir. Tony Brothers is the crew chief for tonight.
Yeah, right.
So we have Tony Brothers. Is Tony Brothers the new extender?
Just to be clear, by the way, I did not cheat. I actually just guessed Tony Brothers. So that's what I've noticed the NBA's been doing. They've been staggering out Brothers and Foster to try to like not have them overlap too much, but they want to keep them both in play. So yeah, I ended up guessing Brothers on that. But
34-26 for home teams.
Okay.
34-26. 29-30 on the total. We also have Josh Tiven backing him up. Josh Tiven sitting here at, I see you at 33-33 home team ATS, 23-42 over under. And the last person, umpire Jason Goble. 33-37-1 to home teams, 39-31 total. Well,
I like the under in this game, by the way. I don't know if we talked about total here, but
let's get to it. 204.5.
in this game. I can't see Denver, even if you're picking Denver to keep this game competitive and maybe even win. I just can't see them scoring enough points against this Minnesota defense to win a high-scoring game. I think Minnesota's defense will still be able to have a solid impact on Denver's offense. The question is, can Denver's defense do a better job, and can they manufacture something in this game? I don't see the pace being really an issue for the under, because I think that both teams don't mind playing in the half court, especially in the latter stages of this game. I like the under. I think that Denver and Minnesota really don't mind mucking it up. I'm not sure you're going to get both teams reaching 100 in this game. Neither team might reach 100 in this game. I can see just a good old-fashioned physical war between these two teams in what's probably a must-win game for Denver. I mean, no team's ever come back from 3-0 down, so the point is it is a must-win game for Denver. I think they might be killing each other. We've seen Minnesota get away with a lot of physical contact, which is why they've been successful in the playoffs, and nobody really gives a damn. It's their identity. That's how they thrive, and I think they can do the same thing again. I like the under in this game. I think it might seem low, but I think it's warranted because a couple ways to get there. Maybe Minnesota doesn't make shots. Maybe Denver gets clamped again. But either way, I see a physical war. I like the under. I think this total's too high.
And I will say, we talk about 3-1 leads in the past. Denver's in a pretty good, if you're down 3-1 lead, you're in a good situation to come back from a 3-1 lead. Because if they steal one of these two games on the road and it's 3-1 going back to Denver, you have two home games. But granted, you lost the 2 home games you had before. But you're due. You're also due.
It's only one more trip to Minnesota. That's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, man, I mean, it's not over. It's really, you got to remember that. These series, it's not over. It's not over, so it's over. So remember that.
I'm assuming you're on the under as well, just based on how the series has played out so far.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to decide. Because, like, what if one team just, like, pulls this over? That's going to piss me off.
Well, even if Denver does win the game, you might just get a Game 2 script against the Lakers where Murray hits some game-winning shot, but the game is hideous for 4 quarters, and they win a rock fight. Yeah. I think that's the script Denver's looking for. And Minnesota, of course, loves to make the games as ugly as possible because you have Ant. And you figure offensively with Ant and Cat, we can score enough to let the defense clamp. So, yeah, I just see an ugly game.
All right. Let's see here.
I am going to laugh, by the way, pretty hard if Gobert comes back and Joker immediately gives him a 30-piece. I am going to laugh pretty hard.
No, he's going to. Going to.
I'm just saying, I'm going to find it pretty funny.
I mean, let's talk about player props now, since you brought it up. Joker's points prop is sitting at, what is this? Click. Consensus 29.5, about -110 odds. I take the over. I think he's going to go out there. I think Joker's, like, on the road, he's going to take scoring into matters into his own hands. He's going to, try to work, but when it gets close, and I think this is going to be a competitive game down the wire, it's going to be Jokic versus Ant and Cat, and that's going to pull his points prop up. I 100% think he's going over his points prop today, over 29.5 for Joker.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to lean more towards the over for points. That's how Minnesota's defense is built with regard to Joker. They tend to let him score, and they'll try to prevent
shut everybody else down.
Involved. I almost got screwed, by the way, on that under for the last game because Gobert didn't play, and he was actually tracking to go over, and then he got pulled because they were down about 30. But 8.5 assists feels about right. Looking at the head-to-head, though, he had 8 last game, but he got pulled 9 in game 1. But in the head-to-head, he has gone under 8.5 assists. It is plus 102, by the way. He has gone under this number in 5 of the last 6 head-to-head meetings. So if you do want to go for an under on Joker assists and you think he goes for 30 points and you think the game's going to be a rock fight anyway, that might be worth considering. Do you think Murray bounces back, or do you think he's still going to be bad?
I think that Murray's still going to be bad.
I think you agree with me on Joker under for assists then, because Murray's a big shooter for those assists.
Yeah. No, I think that's a solid move, and I think that Joker's going to be the one scoring. I'm looking at Naz Reid.
Okay, he's so
Gobert's coming back. He's coming back off the bench. He's points prop is dropped. It's at 10.5 at even money. Let's just talk about the playoffs. He's had 14, 16, 8, 13, 5, 12. Gone over in 4 of his 6 playoff games.
Jelly fam stock keeps rising.
They don't have anybody that can stop him either because they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Committed. They are committed to Aaron Gordon, who is probably one of their better defenders, on Anthony Edwards, even though Anthony Edwards has realized he can cook Aaron Gordon still. Wow, this guy's a good defender and I can still cook him. Okay, well, keep him on me. And we're going to let Naz Reid go off and you're not going to have any resistance at all because who's going to stop him? Joker? Okay. Yeah, Naz Reid, over 10.5 points.
I'm not going to, I mean, do you want the threes with that too? Because, I mean, he has been doing pretty well from 3.
3, let's see, 4 for 8, 2 for 4, 1 for 2, 2 for 5, 0 for 3, 2 for 6, 2 for 5. Oh, well, this is going on a while. He's been good with the threes too.
That's why I'm asking, because you're assuming he'll get probably 4 to 5 attempts, give or take, maybe.
What is even the price on his threes?
I'll check. I was assuming his line would be like 1.5 if I had to guess, but let me just
1.5 at minus 110. I'll take the points. I'll stick with my points,
right.
but
we're just asking.
Anything else? What's up?
Trying to think if there's anything else I actually want. Well, we've seen dad games before. We had Van Vliet in the finals that one year. You think Gobert puts up something? Or you think he's just going to be, like, bad? Do you think he has a dad game?
I ain't touching nothing with rebounds. Pause.
Okay.
Rebounds
I don't know if
only.
you needed to pause there.
Rebounds
for
only.
Okay.
Nah, it precautionary pause.
Just saying,
but
when you add the last word there, I think you got yourself off the hook, but it's fine.
Only precaution. All
okay,
precautionary.
Fine.
But I think that'll be a battle between him and Joker for rebounds. But I just honestly, when he shorted me for that double in game 1, I kind of
that's fair. You kind of just wrote him off at that point.
Yeah, I kind of just yeah. You know how I feel about Rudy, bro. It makes sense, but like I can't do it. I'm good. I'm just good. Ant. We didn't talk about Ant. 27.5. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this plays into my narrative of Denver having a good first half if Ant actually sucks the first half and then he turns it on the second half.
He does the same thing every time. It's usually that third quarter he starts to officially take over the game. But he's not afraid to coast early in games.
Live bet Ant. Let's live bet Ant. Let's not even talk about his prop beforehand. Let's just live bet him after the first half. And yeah, I like that.
I lost it on the last game. Of course, I'm
still on Cat.
I was going to say, for Ant, I lost it on the last game, but I'll run it back because the turnovers were pretty fluky there. There was an offensive foul challenge. There was a turnover with 5 minutes left when they were up by 25. Ant under 3.5 turnovers, I'll go back to. I know, once again, it was an annoying loss, but he's been so good at limiting turnovers against Denver, and Denver does not force many turnovers. You're looking at Ant's numbers. He has gone under this number against Denver in 13 of 15 games. It's at 3.5, like minus 105. I'll run it back. The 4 that he had, one was knocked off his knee. The other one was a 2-on-1 break where he circled that and dribbled it off his own foot. He had an offensive foul challenge in there. Couple of fluky turnovers. I don't mind the under 3.5.
All right. Let's see here. We have my last play, Cat, scoring 20. He's been good. Okay. 19. Line's at 19.5. Past 3 games, he's at 27, 20, 28. He's done good against Denver, gotten over this line last 4 against Denver. So I think this is another opportunity for Cat to have just another good game and show that this is his series, man. I think they're really taking last year's series to heart, and they had this one circled all year. It's so clear and obvious. So
that's why I'm really not expecting a letdown effort here. I think that they are just fully engaged on what happened last year, and we're trying to kick this team's ass. So
19.5. I do like the over 3-pointers as well, Drewski as well. All right.
You want rebounds or no? Because Gobert's back.
Nah, I didn't. Nah, I'm good on the rebounds. Just points.
Just asking.
All points, all buckets. Okay. Let's close this thing out. Lock, dog, underdog lineup, and we're out of here. For my lock.
We had a lot of props, had a lot of sides and total stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff, man. Wow. I'm a little oversaturated with how much because I do have a lot of things that I like. And I got to decide one.
I think I'm
I
going to
really
swing for
think
the
that
fences
there's
with
a
my dog, by the way. Just a spoiler.
ooh,
I might swing
really?
for the fences.
That sounds fun. Okay. I kind of really feel confident in Minnesota. I really think Minnesota's going up 3 games tonight.
So take 1
That
to
might
10.
be my dog. That might be my dog. Yeah.
You said 1 to 10
Yeah, let's
before.
make that
I think
dog.
that was 220 last time I checked. Yeah, a day or two ago.
Let's go back. Let's go look. What's the price on it? Oh, that's not this right section. Oh, I forgot they changed the interface
Yeah.
around. All right.
I think it's in the
Here we go.
popular tab, I think.
Yeah, there it goes. All right, 1 to 10s plus 170.
Oh, that line plummeted. Okay.
I mean,
Could have sworn. Okay. Thought that was higher. All right.
I thought I knew what I wanted to do, man. I thought I came up here and knew, and then we talked, and it changed my mind about a lot of things, and I feel a lot of confidence. All right, start with the dog. For my dog, I'm going Minnesota 1 to 10 at the plus 170.
Okay.
Because ultimately, I think this is going to be a great game, and I think Denver's going to be competitive, but I think Minnesota's on a mission, man. Like I think they're on a mission. So I think that this is actually a spot where Denver does have control of the first half. But Minnesota comes back, uses that home crowd to their advantage, and they go up 3 games. And then the letdown is when you're up 3 games and you let them, get that one and you go back to Denver. And then we'll see, maybe they do it in 5, maybe they do it in 6. We'll reevaluate then. But I think they're going up 3 games tonight.
I guarantee you Scott Foster gets game 4 if they win game 3. I'm not sure if it's going to matter, but I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen.
So that's my dog. Plus 170, Minnesota 1 to 10. Let's have fun tonight. And for my lock, I'm going with Isaiah, man. I'm going to just stick with what I had written down before.
Okay.
Isaiah Hartenstein, under 27.5 PRA. PRA, not PAR. PRA.
Yeah.
And it's because he hasn't been over this line until last game. It seems like the Knicks are about to have a whole entire shift offensively. He got more burn with the ball in his hands, making plays and assists with Jalen Brunson out last game. That boosted his total. He's in foul trouble constantly because he's playing defense and because he feels more comfortable as a defender. And that's not a knock on him. Like, I appreciate people that, hey, if you pick up fouls for actually trying, it is what it is. We'll work on that. But he does have that issue, and I think that Indiana at home is going to be super aggressive tonight. They understand that they're down 2 games and they want to save their season, and so I think Isaiah is going to be one of those guys that just kind of takes the back seat. And so under 27.5, I think Achua steps up on the rebounds. I think Hart steps up on the rebounds. I don't think he gets as many assists, and then we'll see about the scoring. Maybe they go to him, maybe they don't. He'll have about 2 floaters in the middle of the lane, but that's about it. So yeah, under 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Isaiah Hartenstein. That's my lock. And my dog is Minnesota, 1 to 10 plus 170. Let's have some fun. Scott, over to you.
All right. So for my lock, I want it to be on a total. I'm just not sure if I want the Knicks game over, if I want the Nuggets first half game under. The first halves in this Minnesota series have been absolutely disgusting. The first half of game 2 landed 84, and the first half of game 1 landed 96. So these have been very ugly first halves, and we think this game might be very low scoring. So I am wondering if I want the first half under there, if I want the Knicks game over. Do I think the Knicks offense is going to be that bad for this matchup where they drag the total down themselves? Because the Pacers want to run. I think I'll go with the Pacers game over. I think 222.5 is a bit of an overreaction to the injuries that are currently there for the Knicks because defensively they might be a mess. So I think Indiana's going to want to run. Maybe Indiana gets to 125. Maybe they get to 115 and the Knicks are able to hang in there. Point is, couple ways to get there. I think I am going to go with the over as my lock in that game at around 222.5. For my dog, I said I was going to go big. I'm going to do it. Give me McConnell double-double at 11 to 1. I think 11 to 1 is an insane price. He had a double-double last game. I think he's going to get more run after what we saw happen in the first 2 games. Double-double for an Indiana team, it is correlated to the over. But Indiana, you mentioned how much worse the Knicks defense is when Anunoby's out. That plays right into McConnell's hands. So give him McConnell double-double at 11 to 1. If you just want the assists, you can find that at 7 to 1. Point is, I do think he's in line for a good game. I'm going to swing for the fences. Give me a repeat of game 2. McConnell double-double at plus 1,100.
All right. Scott, I think I have to say that I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Because there's not too often that you do stuff like that. For the people.
I try.
For the people. I'm very, very proud of you. And you know what? I can't wait to play it. Can't wait to play it. 11-1 is insane, by the way, for somebody that just had it.
But once again, 7-1 if you want to ignore the points is fine too. But McConnell, you said, is kind of afraid to shoot. That's mostly from threes. He's actually pretty willing to take mid-range jumpers. So that's kind of the one area he will avoid. But the mid-range jumpers he's been firing with. So.
All right. Let's get our underdog lineup going. Let's see here.
Do you want to just take McConnell 5.5?
Oh, for sure. Higher. 5.5 assists. I love that play. It's definitely on my card tonight. I do like Joker. I think Joker scores. I love Naz Reid. I think Naz Reid gets over 10.5. Actually, let's just go ahead and put Naz Reid 10.5 higher.
Yeah, I like Naz too.
All right, Naz Reid 10.5 higher. And the last leg, it could be Joker. It could be Hart. It could be Cat.
You want to just take Hartenstein? I don't mind.
All right. Let's see. Set 27. Cool with it.
Sure.
All right, there we go. TJ McConnell, higher, 5.5 assists. We have Naz Reid, higher, 10.5 points. And we have Isaiah Hartenstein, lower, 27 points, rebound, and assists. That's going to be a 6x underdog lineup. $100 gets you $600. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN at underdogfantasy.com for a up to $250 in bonus cash and a free special pick. Make sure you do that. All right, Scott, anything else from people before we get up out of here?
No, was fun. Looking forward to the games tonight. We should have some type of weekend plan. I'm not sure who's hosting for the actual Daves, but we are going to have shows this weekend. So I'll probably be on at least one of them. So there you go.
Yep. And so everybody, make sure you like the video on the way out, and make sure you guys come hang out for us for WNBA. The WNBA side be a little quiet. I thought I'd see a lot of you guys out here. You are some hardcore DJs. I know you're trying to lock into some more basketball when playoffs. So just tap in WNBA. We're
Season
back
starts
next week.
Tuesday.
Season starts Tuesday. We should have a show out Monday night. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a bunch of fun. So I actually have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just gonna end it like this. We are out of here.